Look, when she suddenly goes quiet, when she stops reaching out, when that spark in her eyes seems to fade, you immediately think the worst. She's done with you. She's met someone else. You messed up somehow. But what if everything you're seeing is actually the complete opposite of what you think? What if the reason she's shutting down isn't because her feelings are dying, but because they're too strong, too intense, too overwhelming for her to handle? And here's the part that's going to mess with your head. There's one specific thing she does that makes every guy think it's over, but it's actually her heart's way of screaming that she loves you so much. It's tearing her apart. I'm going to show you exactly what that is in a few minutes. But first, you need to understand something critical about how women process deep emotions. Because when a woman's love becomes too powerful, she doesn't always show you more affection. Sometimes she shows you nothing at all. And if you react the wrong way, you'll destroy the one thing she's desperately trying to protect. I'm going to break down the hidden signs that tell you she's not leaving, she's breaking, and I'll show you the exact response that will either save everything or ruin it forever. This isn't some feel-good theory. This is about reading the emotional signals that most men are completely blind to. Stay with me because around the 5-minute mark, I'm going to reveal why the women who love the hardest often suffer in silence, and the reason will change how you see every relationship from this point forward. So, let's dive into what most guys completely misunderstand, the real reason she's going silent, and why it might mean she's in deeper than she's ever been before. When love becomes too heavy to carry the truth about her silence. Think about how things were at the beginning. She was open, laughing at your jokes, sharing her thoughts, looking forward to seeing you. Everything felt effortless. Then something shifted, not gradually, but suddenly. She became quieter. Her enthusiasm dimmed. She started pulling inward. And no matter what you did, you couldn't bring back that light. Your first instinct, panic. You start analyzing every conversation, replaying every moment, wondering what you did wrong. So, you try harder. You reach out more. You ask if everything's okay. You try to fix whatever problem you think exists, and somehow she retreats even further. Here's what's really going on. And this is going to sound completely backwards at first. When a woman falls deeply in love, truly deeply, it doesn't always feel like the fairy tale she imagined. Sometimes it feels like drowning. Why? Because loving someone with everything you have means giving them the power to destroy you. And she knows this. She's been there before. She's loved before and watched it crumble. She's opened herself completely and been left shattered. She's felt the suffocating pain of investing everything into someone who eventually walked away. And now with you, she feels herself falling into that same terrifying place. That place where she cares more than she wants to, where her happiness depends on someone else, where one wrong move could break her completely. But here's what's going to blow your mind. There's a documented psychological response called emotional saturation, and when it hits, her brain literally starts protecting her from her own feelings. Listen carefully because this explains everything you're seeing. When her love becomes too intense, her nervous system goes into self-preservation mode. It's not that she wants to feel less, it's that her mind can't handle feeling this much. Her body releases stress hormones. Her thoughts become consumed with worst-case scenarios, and her entire system screams, "Build walls, protect yourself, don't let this destroy you." So what does she do? She goes quiet. She creates emotional distance. She stops sharing. She stops reaching out, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares so much that it's breaking her from the inside. This isn't a choice she's making consciously. This is survival. And here's the brutal truth. The deeper her feelings go, the more intense this shutdown becomes, which means if you want to know if she truly loves you, you can't look at how close she's pulling you in. You have to look at the signs of her falling apart while trying to hold it together. But there's one sign that's so painful, so heartbreaking, that when I tell you what it is, you'll finally understand why she's been acting this way. I'll reveal it in just a moment. But first, answer this honestly. Have you noticed how she seems fine, even happy, until the moment you're alone together? How she can be laughing with others but goes quiet when it's just you? 2. If that's happening, keep reading, because that's not what you think it means. the sign that proves she's suffering in silence. Before we go further, hit that like button if you're ready for the truth. Because what I'm about to share goes against every romantic idea you've been fed about how love should look. Here's the sign that tells you she's breaking inside from loving too hard, and it's going to hurt to hear. She becomes emotionally flat with you while seeming perfectly fine with everyone else. Not angry, not dramatic, just empty when it's you. She smiles less. She talks less. The energy that used to flow between you feels like it's been shut off. And meanwhile, you see her laughing with her friends, posting on social media, living her life like everything's normal. And here's why this destroys most relationships. When a woman is only mildly interested, she stays consistent. She treats you the same way she treats everyone else, pleasant and surface level. But when she's in so deep that it scares her, she starts compartmentalizing. She keeps the rest of her life light and easy while reserving all her heavy emotions for when she's with you or thinking about you. Why? Because you're the only one who has the power to hurt her. Everyone else is safe but you. You're the threat. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because losing you would destroy her, so her brain does something cruel. It numbs her when she's around you to protect her from feeling too much. Psychologists call this defensive detachment, and it only happens when someone is trying to survive their own overwhelming emotions. Most men see this and think she's checked out, that she's done, that she doesn't care anymore. But she's doing the exact opposite. She's feeling so much that her only option is to feel nothing at all. Now here's where it gets even more complex. And this is the part most men never recognize. There are 3 more critical signs that tell you she's drowning in feelings she can't express. And the third one is so specific, so undeniable, that if you see it happening, you'll know without question that she's not leaving you. She's trying to survive loving you. I'm going to walk through all 3. But pay extremely close attention to number 3, because if she's showing that sign, you're at a crossroads. Handle it right, and you might save her. Handle it wrong, and she'll disappear completely. The 3 signs: she's drowning in love. Sign 1. She stops sharing her life but keeps track of yours. She used to tell you about her day, her thoughts, her problems. Now when you ask, she gives you nothing. It was fine, nothing much, just tired. But here's what gives her away. She remembers everything about you. That thing you mentioned in passing 3 weeks ago. She remembers that story you started but never finished. She's been waiting for you to continue it. This is what therapists call asymmetric intimacy. She's closing herself off while staying completely tuned into you. Why? Because she's trying to protect herself from being vulnerable while desperately holding on to every piece of you she can get. She wants to know you're okay. She wants to understand you. But she can't risk letting you understand her anymore, because that would mean admitting how much power you have over her emotional state. And here's the painful part. If you suddenly stopped sharing with her, if you pulled back the same way she has, she'd crumble, because your life is the one thing she's still holding on to while everything inside her is falling apart. Sign 2, she overthinks every small interaction. You send a text with 1 less emoji than usual and she spirals. You take an hour to respond and she convinces herself you're losing interest. You say, "Sounds good," instead of "sounds great," and she reads it as rejection. Here's what you need to understand. This isn't insecurity. This is someone whose entire emotional world has become dependent on your smallest signals. When you don't care about someone, their behavior doesn't affect you. But when you're in so deep that it hurts, every tiny detail becomes a crisis. She's not being dramatic. She's showing you that her nervous system is in constant fight or flight mode when it comes to you. Every interaction feels like it could be the moment you realize she's not worth it. Every conversation feels like a test she might fail. She's not overthinking because she's crazy. She's overthinking because losing you feels like it would end her. Sign 3. She creates rules and boundaries that make no sense. This is the big one. Pay attention. She suddenly establishes random limits. Let's not text every day. We should each have our own space. I think we're spending too much time together. Meanwhile, you can feel that she wants the exact opposite. Here's what's really happening. She's trying to regain control of a situation where she feels completely powerless. By creating distance, By establishing rules, by putting up boundaries, she's attempting to protect herself from the one thing that terrifies her most, needing you. When a woman starts putting up walls that contradict her feelings, she's not pushing you away. She's trying to save herself from the pain of loving someone more than she feels safe loving them. And here's the heartbreaking truth. Every boundary she creates hurts her more than it hurts you. She's not doing this to punish you. She's doing this because she's already punishing herself for caring this much. But now we get to the critical part, the part where most men completely blow it. And you need to pay attention because this is where you either become her safe space or confirm every fear she's been trying to protect herself from. The one response that changes everything. When you realize she's not leaving but breaking, your instinct is going to be to fix it, to tell her she doesn't need to be afraid, to promise you won't hurt her, to push for her to open up again. Stop. Don't do any of that. Here's why. When someone is emotionally overwhelmed, reassurance feels like pressure, even loving pressure. She can't logic her way out of this. She can't think her way back to feeling safe. Her nervous system has to recalibrate on its own timeline. So, what do? You become the opposite of what she's afraid of. You don't chase when she pulls back. You don't demand explanations when she goes quiet. You don't punish her with your own distance when she creates space. You stay present without being overwhelming. You check in without interrogating. You show up without suffocating. You let her see through consistent actions, not words, that you're not going anywhere. But you're also not desperate. When she's silent, you give her silence with occasional gentle reminders that you're still there. When she's distant, you respect it, but don't mirror it completely. You show emotional stability. You demonstrate that her pulling away doesn't make you panic or disappear. This is called secure attachment modeling. You're not trying to change her. You're showing her what safe feels like. And here's the secret that most guys never learn. You can't force someone to trust you, but you can be so consistently safe that their fear eventually loses its grip. There's one more critical piece to this, and this is what determines whether she eventually lets those walls down or walks away forever. Stay with me, because what comes next is the difference between saving this and losing her completely. The truth about love that hurts. I know this is hard to understand. When you care about someone, you want them to show it. You want them to be open and present and available, but sometimes the deepest love comes disguised as the most painful behavior. She's not rejecting you because she doesn't care. She's protecting herself from how much she does care. And if you can see that, if you can respond with understanding instead of frustration, you become something rare. You become someone she can finally feel safe falling completely into. This isn't just about winning her back. This is about understanding that real love isn't always easy or comfortable. Sometimes it's terrifying. Sometimes it needs space to breathe. Sometimes it requires you to be strong enough to hold steady while she figures out how to trust again. If this hit home for you, drop a comment with the word thank you so I know you're serious about getting this right, and subscribe because I'm breaking down the psychology behind connection that most people never see. Until next time, be the man who understands that sometimes love has to break before it can heal.